Hey guys, what's going on here? My name's AU, and I'm back here with the discussion video. I've not done a discussion, Dragon Ball Z discussion, in a long time, and I really wanted to bring it back. And this time I actually brought a guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Yo, what up? It's Rizzy, and today I'm here with AU. What up, bruh?
I know what's going on. And today we're talking about something that I think the community's been talking a lot about. To be honest, I've yet to watch a video about this topic, but the topic is why aren't Dragon Ball Z games competitive? And Rizzy actually is a very, very good fighting games. He's mostly a fighting game YouTuber. And also I'm a little sick, so if I sound weird, that's going to be the reason. All right, so to open this right up, Rizzy, what makes a fighting game a competitive fighting game, in your opinion?
It's pretty much the mechanics of the game, as far as how is the game formatted, how does everything control, and how does the game appeal to a competitive audience. Like, say for instance, something like Street Fighter 2, that pretty much started out the whole competitive game genre as far as fighting games go. But then you bring things like Mortal Kombat. Like, it's pretty much anything 2D. That's like the main focus of, I guess, competitive fighters. Then you look at things like Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue and everything and see how those mechanics are and how everything works with that. And pretty much anything that becomes popular in the community is what makes a fighting game competitive.
Cool. So what I've noticed with Dragon Ball Z games, like, I can go with the easy answer and just say, well, they're just straight up just for casuals. Like, it's just a casual fighting game. But we're going to try to dig deeper. For those of you who don't know, Dimps, the developer, he developed Street Fighter 4 and 5. He also did a lot of Dragon Ball Z games. Did Budokai 1, 2, 3, Burst Limit, Xenoverse, and tons more. But since the fact that he made all those games, and he's, he knows his stuff when it comes to competitive fighting games, because he made Street Fighter 4 and 5. But it's weird that he didn't implicate those mechanics, just like all the little things that make a fighting game or a competitive fighting game. He didn't implicate those to Dragon Ball Z games, and I've always wondered why. Like what Rizzy said, it takes mechanics and all that stuff. But do you think, Rizzy, because the fact that there are Dragon Ball Z games coming out every single year, is that something that really makes it not competitive? Do they have to roll them out?
I think it's just the fact that arena fighters like Dragon Ball Z, like things like Budokai or Xenoverse and things like that, those are more arena fighters. And I don't think that really appeals to the competitive audience or the competitive players or anything like that. Because normally in those games you would have to press like one, two buttons repeatedly just to do combos, whereas though people like more challenging things, like I want to hit this button, then this button, as opposed to hitting the same button over and over and over. And I guess that it doesn't hurt the game, but I think, like you said, is aimed more towards a casual audience. Like, as far as another Dragon Ball Z fighting game, I think the one that would be the most competitive would be Hyper Dragon Ball Z, developed by by Balthazar and his team, because that's pretty much a game that was based on like 2D fighters,
right?
The quote unquote the Dragon Ball Z fighting game that everyone wanted, because you have your hyper combos, you have your chain combos, and your links and things like that. Those are things that people normally look for when it comes to competitive games, like things less simplified and more complicated.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, because Budokai 1 and 3, they're somewhat in that 2D genre, because they're not necessarily arena, but I mean, you can give somebody the game and they could be cranking out 10-hit combos, 15-hit combos without even knowing any of the combo lists, because just by hitting square, triangle, and all that crap, it's just very simplified. And it's just, in even games like Budokai Tenkaichi 3, I did a Play Laxin video a couple weeks ago, and my buddies never played the game before, and they're still cranking out crazy combos. Like, they've been playing the game for a long time, but they just literally picked it up. But Rizzy, do you think in the future Dragon Ball Z games could become more competitive?
I would, being an anime fan and being a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan since I was in middle school, I would love to see a competitive Dragon Ball Z game. Like, I would love to see what people can come up with Budokai 3 or Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Because don't get me wrong, I love those games. Like, I played the mess out of them when I was a kid. So I would want to see what type of tech or technology that people can come up with that type of fighting game.
All right, good deal. So that's pretty much all I wanted to get out. Like, there's so many like little things that you could go with, but Dragon Ball Z games are just very casual, and if they stop maybe producing them like every single year, maybe they can get more complex and maybe kind of get that fighting game community over to the Dragon Ball Z side. That would be super duper cool. Any conclusion or last thoughts you want to get out, Rizzy?
Any conclusions? Somebody tried to get a Dragon Ball Z game to the hardcore audience. Like, somebody do it. Show them, well, besides Hyper Dragon Ball Z, because we all know that's the one currently being developed right now. Actually, matter of fact, have you ever heard of Super Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, I used to play that all the time as a kid.
Yeah, that's one. I think that one was competitive for a good while, if I'm not mistaken. I think there are actually videos of like tournaments and everything like that for that game. Which,
actually, I did not know about this. I just played it as a kid and didn't think of any of it. But that's probably a good reason why the Dragon Ball Z games aren't competitive, because that's one of the worst received Dragon Ball Z games. Just coming from my community, like, that game gets bashed all the time. So
it does.
Maybe that's why we don't see it, but you guys can put down in the comment section down below why you think, this isn't really, we're answering the question, we're just trying to get our opinions out. If you want to check out Rizzy, where can they check you out at?
They can check me out at youtube.com // Rizzy TD Games. Follow me on Twitter at Ignant Rizzy. That's IGNANT RIZZY. And yeah, that's pretty much the best ways to get in contact with me or see any of my content or anything like that.
Oh, but he also raps too.
Oh, yeah, shameless plug. Yes, I also make music.
Yeah, and he's good too. I'll be listening to him in my car all the time.
Oh, snap.
All right, man, this has been AU.
And this has been Rizzy.
I'll catch you guys later.
Later.